Right, we're going to show you a short little video about T2 raiding. This is Hawk 74. We're going to go through just a few bits and pieces about moving HQ one tile to get you 50% refund on your deployed fobs, deploying to specific maps for the raid, moving your HQ one hex and to allow to deploy your fobs while you're under movement cooldown, so your fobs cost you 50% less. And an explanation about the 25 to 34 zones. There's three groups of 24 to 34 zones, or 25 to 34 zones, and they're clustered into groups. And also explaining our main aim about the raid and the contestable zones. So we'll just go to map. Now I'm currently deployed in Berlin, and I've got all three fobs deployed on map. So first of all, it's just to move one hex, so it automatically scraps your fobs at 50% discount, as you can see. Then what we'll do for the raid is we're going to deploy to separate maps, which you'll get all that information. But if you then click your deploy, for the video we'll move to Vienna. We're going to deploy. What this will do is it will automatically place your HQ in a zone that suits your level. If that's going to deploy me. Oh, I've got to wait for my cooldown. Let's go and have a look, see how long we've got left. We'll just finish that. So deploy, we're going to go to Vienna and deploy. We've got a movement cooldown of 1 hour, which during the raid this will we've got 90 minutes before we jump to another map, so we'll be past that 1 hour, and it gives an extra 30 minutes for anybody that's running late. So we'll click yes. Now what this will do is it will automatically place me in a 25 to 34 zone because I'm level 34. Now if I scroll out so you can see all the zones, it's placed me into 25 to 34 here, and this zone just here, which is a neutral zone. Now the three groups of clusters, as you can see, it's the zone that I'm in, the zone just to the top to the right there, which is also neutral, and the zone to the left, which is also neutral. And what we're going to do, the achievement, what we're aiming to do, is to kill all the HQs within our area. Now everybody won't get deployed to the one zone I'm in. We've got clusters just here. You'll have a cluster further up, right above us, which is 3 zones just here. And then we'll have another cluster over to the left here, which is just here, the top zone there, the middle zone there, which is a contestable, and the zone to the right, which is also contestable. Now everybody will get automatically deployed and hopefully will be spread evenly throughout these 3 clusters. Now we don't want to be moving our HQ, so we're going to stay where the HQ is deployed. Then what we'll do is if you click on your HQ, hopefully it will tell me information. Now, because I'm not in a cooldown, my fobs are going to cost me 700,000 metal each. So what we're going to do is just move a couple of hexes. That will initiate a 6-minute cooldown. Now you can see that my fobs are going to cost me half the cost. We'll then deploy our fobs. Now we're going to try and keep our minimum cost to 235 oil. So everybody, what we'll do is just, because we'll be deployed evenly over the map, we should be able to kill pretty much everything within these 3 clusters of zones. And like this base is going to cost me 235 oil. And further across here, it's going to cost me 239 oil, still pretty much within the vicinity. And that's going to, if my base is here, I can kill pretty much anything within that sort of distance all the way around my base. And then that way we're not spending loads and loads of oil. With your fobs deployed, what's going to happen is, if I just attack this guy and show you, is to keep our oil costs, our repair costs, at only 235 oil per attack. Now we can do this by allowing our fobs to do the work for us. All 3 of my fobs are level 3. Now with that being at that level, they will do all the work. You won't have to, you won't need to deploy your platoon in itself unless you're just clearing up afterwards, but you won't get any damage to that platoon. If I scroll out a little, I will attack the base. 235 oil cost. Alright, reinforcement, my fob support will be in 5 seconds. I've not deployed my platoon. As you can see, my fobs have just gone through and worked the base out quite happily, and I've got no repair cost to my platoon. So we'll do that for that 235 minimum oil cost around your base. Now if you're deployed near a contestable zone, one of the things that we are aiming to do during this raid is, for myself, for me to move the contestable zone, I'm going to initiate quite a big cooldown timer, which then I'll be stuck in this map. I won't be able to continue on with the raid. So for me, it's not an aim for me to do, but for others, if you get deployed in a contestable zone or on the border or very close to a contestable zone where you can move your HQ with a cooldown of less time than we're going to be left in this map. So for estimate, your movement time is going to be 30 minutes. Then move your HQ into that contestable zone. As I show you, my cooldown from placing my fobs will be finished now. So 1 minute 32. So by the time that the 90 minutes is finished here, I'll be able to move on with no map movement cooldown or zone movement cooldown. But for a contestable zone, I would have to move right over to the far left of the map, and to do this, if I just finish that quickly to show you, it would give me a 10-hour 24-second cooldown, so you'd be pretty much out the full raid. So we don't want to be moving HQs unless you're next door to contestable zone or in a contestable zone. Now for a contestable zone, what we're aiming to do is, if I was in this contestable zone here, all of these red dots are your HQs. What we want to achieve is, during the 90 minutes that we're in this map, we want to hit every one of these HQs in this map, unless they're an ally or a friendly on the allies list, in allies listing on Discord. But we want to clear out all the fobs and all the bases in this contested zone, so the only people that are left in the contested zone for the 90 minutes we're here is SOG only. And we'll do that for that contested zone, but also for this other contested zone next door. So we want to keep all the contested zones in every map that we're in. So there are 2 contested zones here. For every contested zone that's in the map, we want to keep them clear for the whole 90 minutes, are only SOG that are in there. This is something that Halpus had advised me to do. I would like all SOG to get into the routine of doing this during raids, which is why this has been included. When your 90 minutes of your map cooldown has finished, now your map cooldown is moving from like Berlin to Vienna, where I am. It initiates a 1 hour cooldown. So after 90 minutes, I could then move on to the next map, which would initiate another 1 hour cooldown again. So unless you're near a contested zone, don't move your HQs. Stay where you are, where you're auto placed, and this will allow us to pretty much clear every single 25 to 34 zone. If there's any questions, DM me or just ask in chat, and we can sort any issues. Lovely, thank you.